Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what these tea leaves have to say. Okay, there's a lot here. A lot of little happenings. And let's see if we can get this out of here. Our card tonight is the 10 of Discs. Okay, or pentacles or coins or panacles or whatever you want to call it. And this has to do with wealth. So that's not a bad sign. It seems you are striving for some kind of achievement. Having a solid foundation, fulfillment of your goals, especially having to do with the material world. Okay, so where should we start here? Well, the first one I saw that is quite beautiful to me is, let's see if we can just get this light in here a little better. Seems a little dark. Seems a little dark in here. No. There we go. Maybe that. There we go. Okay, so right here we have the beautiful Hermes or Mercury, and this is the god of messages, to some degree wealth, right? The flow of physical money, and the keeper of the crossroads. So I think through some decision making that has been ongoing, maybe more than one crossroads, you have come to a place where you're doing pretty well. You are, setting goals and meeting them. You are finishing your tasks, your projects, you are obtaining resources. I feel that there's a sense of having been out in the world quite often. You have maybe been traveling for work. You maybe have been working out of the house. Okay. I kind of almost feel like there's a strong sense of my home is my castle, and you want to kind of turn back into a place of kind of being more of a homebody, right? Really spending some time in the place that you have kind of worked so hard to get together. And this doesn't have to just be material things. Okay, this could just also be that you have decorated the house, you set it up in a way that is appealing to you, and you want to spend some time there. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. I fully get that. I would set up my whole life in my house and on property and never leave if I didn't have to. But let's see. This is a beautiful one too. Another one that caught my eye. Okay, so we have kind of a mound here. It looks like we have a person down at the bottom, and then at the top we have kind of a crescent. Now this reminds me so much of kind of a primordial lunar goddess. A mixture of that kind of watery lunar energy and the kind of earthen mound. So this is a fertility vibe. Totally. It could be like a triple goddess. It could be like a fertility mother, the mother archetype. And I think that, you know, it really has to do with those fertile soils. Really being able to succeed within the tasks and the projects and, you know, making something for yourself. You are planting seeds, they are growing. Okay, you are harvesting, you are doing well. Hopefully you are also preserving. Now, this talk of the castle or your home, this place that feels like a nest almost, you know, a safe and comfortable hideaway from everything else, makes me think that you are planning for the future. You're putting things aside where you can. It doesn't have to just be money, but, you know, whatever it is that you consider to be important for, you know, the next years of your life, you are collecting and saving. Okay. And so I feel like this makes you happy. I feel like it gives you a sense of control and power within your own story, which is nice. I think that you are really mindful to not let this be all-consuming. So over collecting, over preparing, becoming, you know, almost kind of compulsive about these kinds of behaviors, which we all can. If you've ever collected anything you really love, sometimes you, you know, one day look at what you have and you're like, wow, where did all of this come from? Okay, so I also want to look at this one. This is a beautiful A. It also looks like an archway. Okay, but more than that, I see a capital A. So if there is something in your life that starts with an A, probably a name, it seems rather important. Okay, so maybe, and this is in this emotional zone, I feel like, as I say this, it almost, it gave me like a kind of happy and sinking feeling at the same time. It almost feels like somebody who somebody who maybe transitioned, somebody who you want to make proud, that you wish they were here to see how well you are doing, how well you have done. They maybe were always like your cheerleader, right? They always really believed in you. And before they passed, you could not necessarily come to them with having gotten all your you know, ducks in a row, right? But now you feel like you are in a place where, okay, my life, it's going in the direction that I want it to. I'm, you know, working hard to heal myself, do this interior work, find happiness, contentment, you know, put aside a little something, thinking about the long term. And these are all things I think that they really wanted for you. Okay, they wanted you to be okay. They wanted you to be happy. They wanted you to enjoy your life in a way that seems like you maybe didn't before. Or you were having some kind of trouble with living, right? Which, you know, hey, we all kind of do sometimes. I want you to know, though, that seeing this, to me, makes it seem like they are... they want you to know, okay, that they know that you're doing well. They can see, you know, how you're feeling. Come on, all the way down. Hello, bless this reading, and then we have to get off the table there, buddy. Sorry, no more of you up here right now. So let's see. I think that's a beautiful confirmation that they are around. They're giving you their love, and letting you know. Okay. Now let's see. Where are we? We have, okay, here we go. We have what looks like a person who is kind of jumping over. It looks like maybe just like some kind of blockage, some kind of thing that has been in the way. I think that you have really gotten into this place where you're not letting things kind of bother you. You are not getting stuck in these kinds of cycles of self-defeating, energy, thinking. You're not doing things or choosing paths that are going to ultimately be kind of like choosing against yourself, right? And so I feel like you're really kind of like not just climbing over, but leaps and bounds, going over. And I think that this feels really good. Okay. I also feel like this is really, it feels like you have a lot of self-esteem right now. I really feel like you're, like feeling yourself deeply. And that's a good thing. I think that sometimes this is maybe part of when you weren't feeling good about yourself, part of the reason that you would make decisions that, didn't really, were not helpful. They were not serving you. Okay. Maybe, you wanted people to notice you, hold you in some kind of esteem, but, you were maybe going about that in ways that were more superficial, short-lived. But here, I feel like, you're really here crossing a bridge. Okay. Getting past some of this old stuff. I feel like there's been so much healing happening. I think letting go of the should-have beens, could-have beens, feeling like, you have not honored certain people in your life. Again, this person who's coming through maybe. But now that you are really kind of getting on course in a way that you feel is successful, it's all coming together. Okay. Let's see. We also have, and this one is interesting. I see a little house. Okay, so again, with this kind of castle, but I also see what is it called? I'm trying to think what it's called in this book that I have, the Hermetic Museum. It's not emanations, but basically what it is, it's energies that kind of, not exactly an aura, but similar. But they kind of emanate from homes, from the buildings where there's a lot of human activity. This could be like noises and frequencies and, actual heat from fires and electrical things and whatever. And so for me, when I look at these two, I think, oh, this is like a lot of times tied to how certain dream patterns arise. And I know this probably sounds very strange and new agey, but I do think that depending on what's going on in our homes, how the energy is flowing through, who lives in your home, right? What kinds of, things are they feeling? What's in their psyche? There's really a sense of collective energy, in our sacred places. And our home is one of the most sacred places that we have. Also, usually where we work, which I could go on a long thing about why the way, you know, like office buildings are set up and so on are so soul crushing, right? Just the colors and the lighting and the monotony, you know. But anyhow, there are kind of these frequencies, energies, sounds, whatever, and it affects the kinds of dreams we're having. Maybe even the intelligences that visit us in our dreams. You know, the ordeals that are playing out. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do my little side thing that I do. I know some of you are like, oh, this lady, she talks about herself. I like to share. Sorry. I do. But I had a dream the other night that it was actually in the morning because I woke up and I got right out of bed. I was like, ugh. But I had a dream that my daughter, who is 3 years old, she's not in school yet, but she had some kind of play she was in, and it was like parents had to get involved, and I signed up, and then I got up there and I couldn't remember my lines, and I wasn't embarrassed for myself, but I was embarrassed that I let her down. And then there were other parents that were like, well, we would have remembered our lines, and you took that spot and you wasted this, you ruined this production or whatever. And my daughter was like, kind of just not embarrassed, but hurt, I guess. And I woke up, it was like, it was such a nightmare. It felt like a night. It wasn't exactly like a night terror. I have those I used to have them all the time. Now I have them once in a while, but our dreams are so powerful. And so anyhow, I feel that you also will be having some very powerful dreams. If you are not already, they're on their way for you. Okay, hopefully though, because we have all of this beautiful, 10 of discs energy in this cycle, I think that this is really just going to be more of that kind of emotional wealth happening. I wonder if you will even have a visitation from this person who is this kindred spirit, this loving spirit. And I think that, it's important for you to, if you don't already, kind of keep track of what your dreams are about for the next, month or so. Maybe get like a little notebook, or I don't ever recommend using your phone, because if you wake up in the middle of the night and you want to kind of write down what's going on in your dream, of course it'll just probably be just a word or two. Turning on the light on your phone really is disruptive. So I would suggest having some kind of, a scrap of paper, a notebook, whatever. Set it next to your bed, and if you wake up, just, jot it down. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to make sense. It could just be, an impression, cat, whatever it is, something that will jog your memory in the morning. And if you do happen to retain some of what happened in the dream, then you can write it out more in like a narrative form. And then if you keep doing this for like a month, you might see some patterns emerging. Okay. And I think that this might be a really good time for that. I think there's some important messaging coming through for you. Okay. Now we have, you know what? We have another A right here. And actually we have a bird kind of sitting on this bird here, sitting on a branch. And then I want to look at this one, because this one looks like a bird that's holding a sickle. Okay. And so to me, this is like a feeling of time running out on something. Okay. I feel like you have some task that you're just, there's just like kind of almost like a clock, running out, or the sand is running through the hourglass type of thing. I think that this is more perceived than it actually happening. So I feel like there's an underlying anxiety. Okay. Again, this might be a good time to be writing things out. Maybe in that same notebook you have, writing down some of the things that you feel like are getting a little bit out of control or too much. Okay, just journaling out some of how you're feeling. This might alleviate some of that. I really find that when I'm having feelings that I don't necessarily, they're somewhat rooted in reality, but maybe not super rational. Or maybe it's a rational response, but it just seems a little larger than it should be. I will write the things out. Just so I can kind of look it over and think, okay, how am I going to, there's something about the process of writing things and then reading them back, that you're like, no, that's not really realistic. And then you start planning too. Like, how can I get all this stuff done so I don't feel like I might miss this, deadline? Or maybe I can get this thing done early, or I can move things around so I can pay for this thing and I don't have to worry about that thing. And, it just, your mind gets into problem management, right? And so I think that whatever's going on, everything is good. But I feel like our minds just are like, oh, something feels weird when things are going real well. So maybe, again, just doing some of that writing. Okay. So this one is an E and a T right there. We have an E and a T. I don't know, maybe this has to do with all the aliens that we've known have been here, but now they're telling us, right? Or I think they are, I don't know. I think that these might be initials, though, of some kind or some abbreviation. We also have another long, beautiful bird. So you have a lot of birds going on right now, and they all seem to be perched. No flying birds. So just kind of in a state of reserving energy, witnessing. I think that this is good advice from these birds. Kind of just sit back, take it all in, figure out what's going on, look up, see what the weather's like, and yeah, I think it's just a good time to be observant. And not getting lost. Really, if things are going so well, don't get lost in it, okay? Ooh. That just emphasized what I was saying. Okay, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. And it is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us grow this channel because all the engagements really help with the algorithm. So if that's liking the video, watching the video all the way through, sharing the video off of YouTube's onto some other social media, what else? Oh, if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And we just surpassed 14K, so thank you to each and every one of you. And if you'd like to leave a comment, I'd love to read it, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Sometimes it takes a day or two, but I do read them, and I have the intention to get back to them immediately. But especially on the weekends and things, it just takes a little bit more time. Life is so busy during the summer. I can't believe how busy it can truly be. So, yeah, don't think that I've forgotten you. If you don't get the notification for the reply back, soon, you can always come back and go back to that video and go look. Because I know sometimes for me, I don't get the notification that there has been, you know, a reply back or something. So sometimes I just kind of skim through, see if there are some replies back, and then, you know, I can engage more in that way. But okay, thank you, and we'll talk again very soon.